Hello, 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 guys, and welcome to Solutions with Skip, this fitness talk show for older men. I am Skip La Cour. I'm so glad you're here joining me. When you come on, say hello, hello, hello. A lot of men watching the replay version. That is great, too. Make sure that you say hello, hello, too. I want to acknowledge you for being here, whether you're watching me on YouTube at Skip La Cour or you're watching me on my Facebook page at Skip La Cour page. Live, let me know. Also, if you're watching the replay version from Instagram, make sure you're on my Instagram at Skip La Cour. Make sure you're on my Twitter at Skip La Cour. Got a lot of information, inspiration, specifically designed for men like you and me, a little bit older. All right, take your fitness and your entire life to the next level. This second half of our life, making it the best, getting us focused, living with that sense of urgency. That's what Workouts for Older Men is all about, and that's what Solutions with Skip is all about. I want to answer any questions you have, bring up the topics that I talk about with you all throughout the week. All right, so thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for participating. A lot of the great comments that you have really pump me up, really get me fired up to continually come back to you, whether it is with Solutions with Skip, my live videos, now with my garage workout videos, my pre-recorded videos, all the information, inspiration. I really appreciate your comments. I love the likes, the loves, the shares, the comments to spread our messaging, all of these live videos and joining our group. So thank you so much for the loves, the likes, the shares. I'll acknowledge you for being here. Hey, in this video, I want to talk about a couple of very key distinctions when it comes to your training that may be preventing you from taking your workouts to the next level. Now, these are counterintuitive because you would think if you do these two things that I'm going to talk about in this video, that should take you to the next level. But I'm going to build a rock solid case when you are too concerned with these two factors that seem like they would be the exact things you would want to do to take your training to the next level. And you hear it from all over the internet, from the younger, passionate fitness experts. It's safe. Again, it seems like the right thing, but these two things may be preventing you from, at your level, taking it to that top level. I've got a lot of guys who have done the work. They're a little bit older. They know they look better than at least 80% of the men our age. But most of those guys aren't even working out. They don't want it as badly as us. You try to go from that top 20% to the top 5%. If that sounds like you, then that's who this information in inspiration is targeted for. Just like you want to match your successful family life, your business life, all that certainty and structure that you earned over your life, and now you may be a little bit new to this fitness and you want to match the rest of your life. I want to bring you up to speed right away. So I'm going to talk about two training tips that could be getting in the way. It seems like you're doing it right. You hear it all over to do these couple of these things, but it could be holding you back from the next level. All right, so guys, looks great. All of you guys are showing up, sounding off. Let me just take a couple minutes to acknowledge you for being here. I want to encourage you not only to be here live, but also to sound off and let me know that you are here. Some old fat guy from YouTube is here. Thank you so much. Hello, Seraphim. Great to have you here. Ingrid, Ingrid, it's morning in Australia. I'm so glad that you are here. Pete, hello, hello, hello. Good evening to you. Dale, what's up? You are Dale. Thank you for being here. Anthony, hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday evening to you and to you too. So glad you're here. Dale, hello, hello, hello. That's the official greeting. It's morning, noon, and night. Like I said, our friends in Ingrid in Australia, it's morning there, it's afternoon somewhere else, and it's evening. And we have to think about the men who are watching it in the replay version too. So hello, hello, hello. Dale has the official Workouts for Older Men, the Solutions with Skip, and all of our live videos. That's the official greeting. Hello, 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 Michael. Scott, good to have you here up in Washington. Hope you're doing well. All right, my beautiful wife, Carrie La Cour, It's telling you if you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube. We have Skip La Cour, and if you're on YouTube, go to Skip La Cour page. Alex, good evening to you, sir. All right. Facebook is at Skip La Cour page. You want to make sure that you're on all of my social media platforms. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Go to solutionswithskip.com. Open up that browser right there. It's really a chance for you to get personally connected with me and take all of this to the next level. If you're loving this vibe, if you're loving how I'm putting the information, the inspiration for us older men, straightforward, simple, and effective, check that out at Solutions with Skip. And again, I'll talk about that in a moment. Mark, good evening to you, sir. All right, so let's get into this. A couple of things that I want to talk about, before I talk about these two training strategies that you may seem like you're doing the right thing. You hear it all over, but these are the very things that might be holding you back of getting that top 5%, taking your training to the next level. But first thing I want to talk about, I post this over on my Facebook page, and it's about COVID. And I don't necessarily, but I will, if that's what it takes to get your attention, talk about politics too much. All right. The question really didn't have anything to do with politics. It's with what's in the news right now, the high profile news when it comes to this virus and COVID. And the question was, does this latest news, does it all sway your opinion on your level of comfort of training in a commercial gym, right? And, I prepare for the answers. I talk to men all the time. And those who work out in a commercial gym, I mean, you guys are passionate. I love that about you. I mean, nothing's going to sway your opinion. All right. You go back to the gym for the camaraderie. I mean, you've done it for so many years, and that's awesome. Don't know anybody, don't have any experience with anybody getting sick with this virus. I expect you to go back to the gym. I certainly understand that. Some men are a little bit more cautious. Maybe they know of people who, in their own circles, who have been very, very sick. Maybe some have even died. Because I deal with so many people, I hear a lot of those stories. I don't know anybody personally, and I'm a coaching client or someone in their immediate family who has died, but they know people who have died. So it's very real to them. And a lot of men, well, what's my take? What's my opinion? You might see me with my garage gym workouts. Well, let me first of all talk about that. I live in California, and it wasn't until yesterday, all this entire 6 months, that they were closed. I mean, there was not limited access. There was absolutely no access at all for 6 months. So you saw what I've done to stay in shape, really concentrate on my diet with the 15 by 15 by 15 workouts. I've got even more abbreviated workouts because I deal with a lot of older men that maybe don't have 10, 15, 20 years of a workout experience. They're rather new, a year, 2 years, maybe a lot less. So I've got a lot of different things to help men get fit, age appropriate with my age optimization system, right? Not just one size fits all, depending on their goals, how much time they want to develop, and those type of things. All right. So I didn't have the opportunity to train in a gym. Like I said, they just opened. It's 10% capacity. What I found out is that there's not very many people in there. Again, all this, when you want to know my opinion, what it would factors into my opinion. It's not politics. It's not how much I believe in the virus or not. All right. The other thing is I saw a picture of one of my buddies in the gym, and he had this big face mask on while he was working out. And so, for me, everything is risk versus reward. I may be in a little bit of different position because with my 31 years of training, you hear me talk about it all the time. Take your training to the next level. That's the fun of it. But most men, even if they have 10 years of training, they really overplay the value of training. How much muscle you can build, how many different sets you need, how long the workouts need to be, how often they need to train. Do they have to have the specific strategies, the different machines, again, the different exercises, right? I know what needs to be done and what is excess. And I learned that over my 31 years. That's what I teach my guys who are on a limited schedule, right? If you've got all day, got plenty of time, that's fine. I mean, you're not going to necessarily break anything. You're not going to go backwards if you do too much or more than you have to do, and you love it. That's fine. But when you want to be effective and efficient, you have a limited amount of time and you think you have to do all that, right? So I know what it takes and what it doesn't take. All right. So I understand that you don't need all those machines necessarily. And that's what I want to show you when you watch my garage gym workouts. I want to make sure that I don't get too elaborate. I use limited equipment. Not that I don't maybe get excited. I could use a lot of different fancy smancy exercises that would be very entertaining, something new, but I want to keep this simple and effective for those men on a limited schedule, limited amount of willpower, focus, and energy, and they have a successful, busy life, and they want to, fit fitness in there. So I'm going to keep it simple that way. I think that the biggest challenge with all the information on the internet from a lot of the experts is that they're bored. Their audience is bored. And so they just take it to all these details and they say these details with passion. And sometimes when someone's been training a couple of years and all they see are those details, they don't, they're new to the process. They don't know that fitness expert's been, training for 20 years and he's made every single video 5 times over. And so what he's talking about isn't necessarily a staple. It's not necessarily something that's a foundation organized that everybody must do. And they misinterpret that they must start at that more detailed auxiliary level, and they confuse that for the basics, right? I'm intentionally not going to go in that direction for those purposes. I could, right? I can make it really interesting, give you all these different, but I'm doing it for a purpose, all right? So with that in mind, risk versus reward, like I said, I know a lot of men are really, firm in their opinion. I can see the passion that what they think of the virus not being real, or they think it's a political conspiracy or a way to control and the sheeple if you even listen to all this. It's media hyped and all that. All right. Well, look, I listen to the news. I'm not a scientist, just like everybody else. I hear all the information just like you do. But the thing about it is that it's not necessarily, I think, it's not necessarily how clean the gym is, all right, and how much they spray it down and all that. It's really the combined group of people coming through the gym and huffing and puffing and spraying all that, how contagious it is, right? But, I was at my daughter's birthday party a month ago or so, and I was at the park, and there was it seemed like at least 3 generations of this gigantic birthday party in the park. And there was not one mask in the whole park, it seemed like. I mean, really, I bet it was close to more than 100 people. All right. So you're only as, and again, how, if I talk to somebody and their close friend died, or I have a client in 4 people that have died, they're going to have a lot of a different opinion of how contagious the virus is, from someone who doesn't know anybody who's died or in their particular area. But again, the thing about it is if they're walking around and it's one person who doesn't believe in it, and look what's happening at the White House. Think about it. I mean, those are high-profile people. They talk about it, think about it all the time. And again, if you're going to go on a conspiracy theory and say they really don't have it, that hell, who knows? You could be right. I don't know, right? But the thing about it is if most of the men, I've done a survey, and this really doesn't apply to probably, I would say, as close to 60 to 75% of the older men who I deal with. They have a home gym anyway, so they're not going to be in a commercial gym anyway. But if you have your choice, it's like, well, until we find more about this, right? And you know what to do. I want to help show you what to do in a limited amount of equipment in a garage gym. Well, you can kind of see how this plays off. One other thing too is in the reasoning is that, there's a, 99.45 or whatever it is, survival rate. It doesn't kill you. Well, that may be true. I think the older you get in pre-existing conditions, whether your pre-existing conditions or not, And one thing about we as older men, and you tell me if this is true of you, is that we don't want to know if we have pre-existing conditions. We don't want to go and get those checkups, all right? Unless something's fallen off, we're not going to go to the doctor. So even if you had a pre-existing condition, come on, have you been getting a physical, doing everything, staying on top? Would you even know? It's a bad time to get to know that when you had, if you were to contract the virus. And here's the other thing too, they don't really know, even if for some people, they recover, but they don't fully recover quite yet, right? We're going to know a lot because of the high profile people who, again, I'm just going to assume, I know I just listen to the same things that you do, but let's say this isn't a conspiracy theory, and these very, very high profile government officials, we're going to track, how they recover, how fully they recover, right? And, I wish everybody recovers fully. I hope that, look, I want everything to turn out great. I want everybody to get back to normal. I want to go to theaters and restaurants. I want to hug my family, my extended family. All right. I want to hug you if I were to meet you out there because we made this connection. So, I want the best, but those are some things, risk versus reward. If you know what you do, I think it's maybe a little bit safer until we figure all this rather new virus, until we know a little bit more about it, especially if you can build muscle and lose body fat at the same time. Anyway, those are my thoughts. A lot of men have posted their thoughts, and I asked me what I thought. So at least, could change week to week, right? So that's what we know so far. One other thing too is that a lot of men, they write me and they want inspiration and they hear about my coaching and my packaging. One thing that I'm gonna do for a very select group, right? Because it is that, with this, COVID kind of changed the way we do everything, is that, one thing that I'm doing more of it is like doing a little bit of working out every day. It's very different than the traditional type of workouts, right? And again, it's about being healthy and fit now that we're older. All right. So I'm going to be doing these Zoom for a limited amount. And you'll see me, we'll work out. I'll tell you the schedule for the week at specific times, and we'll get to work out live together. All right. Every single day. Every single day we'll connect. I'll talk to you personally and answer questions. A very select group. So if that sounds interesting to you, try it out for a month. All right. I'm excited. I'm, like everything's changing. All right. With this new world, I thought I would give that a shot. It would be a great way to connect, keep you, on track, motivated, can learn, we can work out together, get some connection too, right? In this world with the lack of connection. So Zoom garage gym workouts, send me an email at skip@skiplacour.com. Text me if you're interested as I'm forming that. And I'll let you know as we get a little bit closer to that. Robin, hello. Great to have you here. Some old fat guy says, my gym practically is as clean as a hospital surgical ward. Yeah, I did bring that up, some old fat guy. The cleanliness of it, if one person shoots it airborne, like I'm sure the Rose Garden or wherever, I'm sure that's clean too, right? Where these high profile politicians, right? So it's not the cleanliness, it's like if it's airborne in that 1 week link, right? Again, the odds are great that you're not going to get COVID, and I know that, right? And I hope that. But again, everything is risk versus reward. I posted a question because I was just curious, and I use this as contrast, is that, would you go to a theater right now? Because I'm looking forward to going to a movie theater with my kids, right? They kind of grew up really fat. Well, they're only 5.5 and 7, but and that was something that I'm going to do until they get older. And now this COVID hit. Now I want to do it really badly. But I asked the same people, would you go to a theater, a movie theater? Well, I would think that wouldn't be a good risk because you can just watch, Netflix, or there's no movie you want to see that badly, right? So it's not worth the risk to go to an enclosed movie theater under the same conditions. Doesn't matter how clean it is. Doesn't matter if there's only 10 people in it, right? That risk versus reward, seeing a movie, not worth it to you. But isn't that the same conditions as going to a gym? You just want to go to the gym, the benefits of the gym, you want to take your risk, right? But it's kind of the same situation. Again, it has nothing to do with how clean the gym is.
Alex says, do you ever train with your wife or always solo? So does she help you push harder? No, I never train with my wife. And more than anything, it's our roles, all right, where, got these two little ones. She's an amazing mother, all right. And but that could happen now with our garage gym. That could happen. What's funny is she was a champion physique fitness star national level before we met. I didn't know her in that life, and she didn't know me in my bodybuilding life. So we've never trained together. We've never done cardio together or anything. We don't know each other. Our whole fitness identities is totally separate from our marriage, at least at this point. But that's a good question. All right, let's see. I wonder what, Carrie, why don't you chime in on that? I think, like I said, it's interesting where we, so much about fitness that I don't know if that never even crossed my mind until you even asked that, Alex. All right, so Mark says, my dad has taken all the precautions, mask, etc., and tomorrow he will be 14 days on a ventilator for him. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers are with him. Wish him the best of luck there. Yeah, so I wish him the best. And so I hear a lot of stories like that. So like I said, a lot of men, it's just too distant. They don't have any of those stories. But it'd be it's an interesting, a very surprising answer, but it's a very interesting answer, right? I'll tell you, my wife and I, when we met, I was really focused on where I wanted to go in life because I spent so much time as that bodybuilder, right? Oh yeah, my wife has some great stuff. Yeah, we put our heads down and went into a direction. We devoted a lot of our attention to fitness, and so it's the other stuff that we've been working hard on and really progressing in. Yeah, and that's great. So Carrie did invent the 15 by 15 by 15 workouts, and I guess I should give her that credit. Now I branded it with the 15, and I turned it to 15 reps, and I made it in some of them they have 15 exercises, from that way. But I love those workouts. A lot of guys, and over on YouTube, there's a lot of comments because they didn't really see it there. Now, on YouTube, you want to make sure you're on Facebook because I do a lot of live videos that really aren't the best for YouTube, right? So they're seeing it kind of for the first time over on YouTube. But I love the athleticism in those workouts, all right? So I've done, my wife has designed 4 of them so far. They're all different levels of the mentality and pushing themselves too. But yeah, so my wife, from her personal training background, developed those. Also, we have even she designed even a shorter, more compact workout. It's for the 𝗏𝗏𝗁𝗏𝗁 group. That's and so I'll be filming those and lining those out. So most of the men on my YouTube channel or on Facebook a little bit more hardcore. But there's even going to be a lighter version. So you get a little bit of working out exercise every single day. I guess that would be fit into the exercise category. A few minutes of stretching, particular body parts, and then like 7 minutes of intense working out, 2 intense, and doing a little bit every day. Right. So, yeah. So, yeah, she talks about she made me take yoga once. When I would see yoga and everything, that would be peaceful. That would be nice. Just chill out yoga. My one session of yoga was not peaceful. That was really hard. Yeah. So good compliment for the show. Yes. Thank you so much. Great question. So, I want you guys to ask more questions like that, like more personal. Sometimes, like I feel as though, I come to you so often and it's just about fitness. I know, that's why you're here, but I would love to mix in a little bit of entertainment or something other than fitness, right? Capturing anybody's attention these days. It's really challenging. And yeah, grabbing your attention, someone getting my attention. And have you ever sat through a TV show or even a movie without trying to grab your phone with all that stimulus there? Things are really changing, and me as a presenter of information, you know, I know I'm competing with all that. So, all right, let's get to the topic of today's, talking about, you know, strategies and you know, when it comes to training, taking training to the next level. So I want to talk about a mindset, a strategy, a way of approaching your training that you hear often. And it seems like it's right, but if you follow this way of thinking, especially, and you feel empowered doing it, right, it could be the very thing that holds you back from the next level, right? This is a nuance thing. This is in the gray. This is the next level type of thinking. And the two things are, all right, when you have a rep scheme, all right, whatever that is, 12 to 15, 6 to 8, all right, 4 to 6, whatever it is, all right? And this may happen, and you're not really conscious of it, right? And so let's say your rep scheme is 6 to 8, but in your mind, without really thinking about too much, you're always going for 8, all right? You're always going for 8. So even at 6 to 8, like 6, 7, or 8, and you should always have a rep scheme. By the way, I talk about that often, not just stop on a dime, so to speak, and not just 8, not just 6, because every set should be that self-contained unit. You should push yourself later on in the workout, later on in the sets, you know, the weather, how much food's your system, energy levels. It shouldn't always be, every set should not be the same. It should be a challenge. So it would be 6, 7, or 8. You should always have a rep range, right? But consciously, if you think, well, 8 is better. And so you're always shooting with 8. And this could happen without you even realizing it. You're always doing 8, and you're thinking, I'm empowered doing 8. But the downside of that is maybe you're not putting in on 5 more pounds so you can get 7 or even 6, maybe the second or third set. Maybe you're compromising on the form, you know, and you're starting to think that way. And this is very common too. So you pick up weight and it's challenging, it's heavy, but you're conking out at 5. So on the 6th one, you're compromising the form just a little, or the range of motion. And the 7th one, and because you're really goal oriented to get to 8, but you're compromising the weight you didn't put on the bar, the dumbbell, or the machine, and the form too. So it would seem like getting the high end of the rep range would be the best, and you go on autopilot, you do that forever, but you never go up in weight. And you're not really conscious of the form, and it holds you back. You're not doing that progressive overload, right? So it's always shooting without really realizing, getting the higher end of the rep range in all your sets. I mean, I've seen it where guys, you know, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, all throughout it. Now, there's some that if they can get 8, especially at the beginning of the workout or the first set of an exercise, if they can get 8 and then they get 8 on the third one, chances are great that they probably could have got 10 on the first one. So it's that mindset, right? Now, this is controversial, and I already know what you're thinking, because again, I've been doing this for 31 years and helping do a lot of writing. The second one is when you overemphasize form, right? And again, I know it, I hear it all the time, especially for the younger guys. Form, 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 form. Form Nazis, right? You don't have the exact form, you post that on the internet, anybody posts, and the form isn't right. I mean, it gets immediately criticized. So much so, I really think that it gets the guys who really know what they're doing, they just play it safe, because they know that at least half the people will give a dislike or say that form sucks. So they just avoid it. If it's such a distraction, the form, it's the path of least resistance. That may not be what they really think. That may not be how they train at their level, but you'll never know it because they're going to do the safe route. And I see a lot of younger guys, you know, their whole, you know, when they talk about their training, it's all about form, 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 form. And they start off the whole thing. Let me tell you how not to do it. Let me tell you how not to do it. And it's all about form. Hey, look when people do it that way. And you think form is everything. Let me just tell you something. And again, I'm going to say this again. I always say it. I'm not talking about hurting yourself, right? Of course, you're not going to hurt yourself, but a little elbow here, a little bit of elbow there, you know, it isn't like you're going to have two different bodies. It isn't like you have 10 out of 10, scale from 1 to 10, 10 form or 0 form. All right, it's just slightly not perfect form. Again, the trolls on the internet, the young people, they'll pick it off. The fitness experts, all they talk about is, I saw someone in the gym and they had bad form. It really bothers me when people have bad form. Let me tell you, it's the result that you want. The process is just training. Again, if you think that, just say a 10 out of 10 form, right? And then you use, I don't know, 8 out of 10 with a little bit of movement, again, not hurting yourself. If you think that one is totally ineffective and one's going to make you a Superman, that's wrong. If you're lifting it up, the weight, it's being stimulated. That's just detail talk. It's the production is what you have to. But let me tell you, when you overemphasize form, is that, think about it. If you want to go up the rack, if you want to be progressively overloaded, and let's say, I don't care what the exercise is, just say you've always been doing 50 pounds. I don't care who you are. If you want to go up to 55 or 60, if you think from the very first time you touch that weight and the first time you touch 55 that you're going to have perfect form, you're not. You're not going to. Just, the coordination, the level of confidence. But if you overemphasize form, I can't go up in weight until I have perfect form, then you're never going to go up in weight. You're going to be doing that 50 pounds, for the next 3 years, because it's never going to be the right time to go up if you really overemphasize perfect form. And again, I'm going to say this for the 118th time. I'm not talking about form that hurts you. It's way over exaggerated. It could be the things that hold you back. So when it comes to, if you want to get in that top 5% as older men, you want to do this, your training, your knowledge and execution, you want it to match, what your family and your business, what you've accomplished, over the first half of your life, and you're bringing into fitness into this equation, and you want to be a top 5% or the top 20% isn't good enough. Well, you need these next level strategies to get there. Right. So two things that seem like they sound right, you hear it all the time, but are way overemphasized. It could be the very things that prevent you from taking your training to the next level. And that is when you have a rep range, which you always should have, let's say 6, 7, or 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. And you always, either intentionally or unconsciously, you always get the high end of the rep range. And then it causes you not to add 5 more pounds or compromise on the form, or you overemphasize perfect form. There's never a time to get to that next level, and you don't do that 1 more rep because it's not perfect form. You don't add that 5 more pounds because it's not perfect form, and you box yourself in with those. Could be the very things that prevent you from the next level. All right. Hey, if you love this type of next level information, you want to be a 5%er of the older men. You want it to match your level of success, and you want these next level distinctions and one-on-one time with me. All right, I'm going to post all the details down below, but go over to solutionswithskip.com. I call it the biggest fitness challenges that older men face and their solutions. It's just an audio coaching experience, one-on-one time with me. The call is recorded. I'll start from where you are and get you what you need to do with nutrition and your training. Right, to get to that top 5%. The call is recorded so you can listen to it over and over again. There's a 90-minute video presentation that breaks down the top 10 fitness challenges that older men face. If you're like most men who are doing great, you want to get to that top 5% since you do everything so well in your life, and you're committed to do that. You'll see, oh my God, this guy's stepping in my head. That's what I thought, and those are the challenges, right? So you want to go there, and then it has 12 modules, 11 hours, where I take you through training, nutrition, systems, mindset, the winning habits of the top 5%, the most fit older men. So check that out over at Solutions with Skip, and also go to manformationlabs.com. All right, the supplements work: creatine monohydrate, the melatonin, the essential iron. When you buy the Man-Information Labs pack, all right, special pack, you get 2 shirts. Tyrone just showed me, earlier today, he took this ultimate bundle package. All right, so in addition to the creatine monohydrate, the melatonin, and the essential iron, you get one of these. You see me wearing these with the Man-Information Lab logo. You get it in your choice of blue or black. And you get this t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. You get both shirts, the 3 𝗦𝗲𝗶𝗵 Lab products, all for one low price. I'll put that link down below. Make sure you're on the 𝗦𝗲𝗵 Labs Facebook page too. I'll post that link. All right, let's see if anybody else has anything else. And then tell you 38 minutes, it just seems like it's 5 minutes when I talk to you. All right. Hello. Over on, what is that? 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗶 over on YouTube. So glad you're here. Let's see, someone says, let me see this. Ingrid says, show me a power lifter or any lifter going for personal best on the platform to push to be in that top 5 to 10%. I say there is always a scope in training for what I call 𝗕𝗰𝗁𝗁 reps, the last 1 or 2, because next week you'll probably nail them. Near perfect technique is great, but too much emphasis sometimes. Yes, exactly my point, Ingrid. I agree with you 100%. All right. Sky, hello. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for the nice comments and reading my articles way back in the day in Iron Man. Yeah. You know, Skip and Kevin Levrone could be twins. Yeah, back when I had that Twin Lab commercial, if you remember, you know, back in the day, he said that everybody used to think that was him. All right. Mr. Pancakes 1012, hello, over on YouTube. Good to have you here. All right. Robert, yes, sir. Good to have you here. I love the love. So Robert says, playing hard in the morning. Awesome. All right, guys. Could be with you here all night. I'm so glad that you joined me. Hey, that's going to do it for Solutions with Skip. Hey, remember, it's a struggle that makes you strong. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. I hope you're doing well during this pandemic, even though we're 6 months into it. I hope you're adjusting well. I hope that this is a diversion, a distraction, maybe a good place to come during all this. I know you are for me. I hope you're getting that value. But remember, it's a struggle that makes you strong as long as you decide that. Let's live with a sense of urgency. Train with that sense of urgency. Eat right to support it with that sense of urgency. Let's produce in the second half of our life. Let's really go for it. I want to help you. Go to Solutions with Skip. I want to help you nail this. All right. Let's love, let's hug, let's connect with a sense of urgency. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you on the next live broadcast.